I was like waving with the wrong hand.
You guys are clearly not practicing social distance, but it's for the benefit of this live stream. And also you live together. So
that's kind of too late for that.
You guys are good. I wanted to bring you two on because you are both such funny and smart comedians. You guys are so talented, and you make some of the most challenging and difficult topics fun, which is a real skill. And then also you guys are a happy couple and one of the most supportive couples I've ever encountered. Like, you guys are always have each other's backs, and that is such a rare thing anymore, especially with comedians. Like, a happy comedian in a relationship is just so rare to find. So I really wanted to get you guys on here to talk. And also you guys have an album called Brownie Points, which is so funny. I was telling you earlier, I re-listened to it, and it's so relevant in these times. It's such a great album. It came out a few years ago, didn't it? Or when did it come out?
Last June.
That's it? I have no idea what time it is.
It's like, I was like, the other day, I was like, we've been quarantined for like 2 months now. He was like, yeah.
I have no idea. Like, March is the longest year of anyone's life. Like,
who knows anything anymore?
Yeah, it's insane.
It feels like Mad Max already.
Yeah. But even so, I mean, coronavirus back when you made this album was not on anybody's minds. It probably didn't exist. I don't think it even existed at that point. And yet, even so, I find your album to be very relevant because it talks about issues that we're facing, still facing all over again. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
How did you guys kind of decide to do an album together?
Well, it was Roger's idea. Yeah.
I think both of us, when we got together, we realized that, sometimes people always talk about making a brand, and I have no idea how to do that. But then I realized sometimes people will give you a brand on their own. And when we got together, we started realizing that we started, I don't know, our relationship, like us being a couple, is kind of becoming a brand.
Yeah.
Or the closest thing. I don't know what a brand is, and I don't know how to do any of that. To be honest, I know how to write jokes, but that's about it. But we started seeing that it was like kind of a really positive reception as a couple, which is really nice because not everyone has like that. Sometimes, I don't know, maybe we just have a really good circle around us, but we had a really good reception. So we were like, hey, we should go. We work as a couple in real life, and we also work in regards to our comedy. I think we're very similar in our worldview, and we complement each other. So we're like, let's just keep going with it, and in terms of getting like album produced, it was hard for both of us because both of us are more political in many ways, and a lot of people in the industry, and this is not a criticism, it's just reality. People need to make money off their investments, and maybe we were not seen that way because we are opinionated or not less mainstream. So it's not that people wanted to work with us, but they wanted us to kind of change our voice a little, which is not what we want. So we were like, both of us realized that, to put out an album, we do have to self-produce. But it's, and I would say this is like advice to anybody who's trying to figure out how to get this done. Whether or not you're a couple, you could do it with a friend, anybody. But a way to stay, like, it's just so hard, but a way to stay motivated is to do it with somebody and to share the cost of it. And it really benefited us. And, I know there's an advantage of being in a couple, but, why can't two friends make an album together? Yeah. Once you set goals together, it gets done. Otherwise, like, you never feel ready. I would never have felt ready on my own because your comedy could always be better. But then all of a sudden, like, because we're working together, we set dates, we set goals, and now whether ready or not, it's happening. You know what I mean? So I think that's a lot of how that came about.
Yeah. Because we self-produced it. I mean, it's a big undertaking, even, just to do it independently. So, like, to do it yourself, if I had to do it by myself, I don't know if I would have been able to get it done. So having a partner to help, and split all those responsibilities, made it a lot easier.
Especially if you have a different set of strengths. Like, I'm very much like, hey, this is the idea, we're gonna go. And then, like, I kind of like get anxious when it comes to editing and stuff. And then, like, Lenny is very great at like making sure everything, like in terms of like the editing and stuff, he doesn't get as overwhelmed as me. So he worked really well with our producer. not our producer, with our
sound mixer.
With our sound engineer, Lucky Richie, who did a really great job. Consider that we had a lot of technical issues.
Really?
So he did a really, so they like it was. So I think because we have different strands, putting it together made this happen.
Oh, yeah. I would have never known you had technical issues. It doesn't.
Yeah, he's a good engineer. Yeah. Richie's good at his job.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I think that's really important note. I mean, so much stand-up is seen as a solo act. I mean, because it's just you on stage, but it is, if you're doing it right, it's a business, and with a business comes so many different aspects. And so it's good to find somebody who's on your team, who can help you, who you help each other on different stuff like that. So that's a really interesting and important point. Of what everyone's doing. I mean, there's a reason I've never put out a comedy album, and that's pretty much what you said. It's like nothing I ever do will ever be good enough when it's just me judging it. So that's awesome. How? Go ahead.
This is sometimes you need somebody else because you're always going to judge yourself too harshly. So you need someone else to be like, actually, this is really good.
It's like, no, this is funny. Go for it. Yeah, because everything I do, I'm like, no, I don't know about that. It's not. Let's cancel that out. And
yeah, that's something we both struggled with. With that self-doubt.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, even though we had a good show and we had good sets and we had a good crowd. You still listen to it and feel like, I could have done that better. You're like, I don't know if that's good enough.
Yeah.
Like when I first heard my own part of the album, I was really I heard Lenny's and I was like, this is excellent. Like I was so excited about it. And I heard mine and I was like, this is horrible. You know what I mean? And it's like you hear everything you wanted to do different. And then Lenny was like, no, it's good. And then I was like, at that moment, I wasn't secure enough to believe it. But I was like, what? I know Lenny. He would never just say it's like Lenny loves comedy. He loves me, but he loves comedy. You know what I mean? So like, he loves me too much to let me make a fool out of myself. So he's not going to lie to me. And also, he has a stake in how good this album is, right? So he's not going to lie to me if it isn't good. So at that moment, I was like, I don't really have this faith in myself, but I trust you. So if you say it's good, I'm going to go with it. And then after I gave it some space and I listened to it, I was like, hey, this is really good. Like I was insecure, but I don't know if I would have broken out of that if, I didn't have a partner to be like, no, I know you don't feel like it's good, but I could tell you as an outside ear, it's really good,
Yeah. Well, as an outsider here, I can say it's really good. It's so fun. I mean, you really tackle some issues. Like you had a colonialism joke and you're like, smart audience. Like you guys got that. That's normally not.
I wasn't expecting anyone to get that joke.
Yeah, all right. And the audience loved it. Yeah. And you come at such issues with compassion as well, which is something that I really loved. It's been a joke. Because we were doing mics together and stuff when I lived in LA. Like I think, when did you start, Raja?
5 or 6 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. So we started around the same time. I couldn't remember. Did we start at the same time or what? But yeah. But Lenny, you've been doing this it's an album. It was like 12 years, right?
Yeah. So I started in 2006, like late 2006.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. You've been doing it for a while. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And you're feeling good? Not burnt out by it yet?
Well, a little bit. I would say like I'm not like going out to open mics like I used to. I did that for like, so I'm cool with that now.
Yeah.
But I still like to get out there. Get out there here and there and do shows and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I did until now.
Well, yeah, right. We're legally forced into our own home. Not go out anywhere. Yeah. I have a great love for comedy, but it is such a grind, because it's a business, because it really is a business. If it was just like getting out and telling jokes, I don't know. No, it'd probably still be horrible.
Yeah, but at least it would be just that. But there's all this other stuff you have to navigate. You have to navigate all this, social stuff, and, business stuff, and it can wear you down.
Right, and politics too. It's
there we go.
I'm sorry, you guys are so squished in there. I don't know how to
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize for that.
Oh, no, it's okay. Yeah, there's a lot of politics to it as well. I mean, just sometimes bookers like you, sometimes they don't. You don't really have any control over it. I mean, that's something that I think I've learned that I'm sort of taking into this process is with comedy, it's like there's no control. You know, you work on your jokes, you work on it the best that you can and what you think is funny. And if other people find it funny, like that's awesome, but you can't really worry too much about what other people are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I think it's a good metaphor for right now because it's like, okay, I'm home. I don't know what the rest of you guys are doing, but I can't force you to stay. So, and I can't force anyone to laugh at my stuff. So it's just there's a lot of lessons I feel like within comedy that you can apply to outside.
Yeah, especially like you said, with what's going on now. Now when I write stuff on Facebook or Twitter, I'm just worried about like it's what I really want to say if I like it, you know what I mean? Because now it's like all this other stuff doesn't seem to matter right now, you know, like whether this booker's gonna like it or if this person's gonna like me for writing this, you know.
Truth is, we don't even know what venues are going to be open and not open by the end of all this. Like, and I'm not saying that to be negative. It's just the reality.
That's a very great point. Yes.
I mean, there are a lot of them already closing down in LA because of gentrification. So that's already been rapidly happening. But I thought that we don't really know. And I'm not saying that, like, I don't think comedy is going to die. I think it's going to it's going to evolve. But we don't really know. You know, we don't know who's going to still be booking. We don't know which club is going to stay open. We don't know what it's going to look like. So it's just now, like, why not just say everything that we want to really say, speak our truths?
Yeah.
Like, hey, go for it. And then when everything things evolve into something new, like, hey, maybe we'll make ourselves a niche in that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And this is the time to do it. It really is because everyone's home. Like we're home, nothing else to do but write and work on stuff. And so it's like, and everyone is looking online right now. So it's like, might as well. You got an idea, just put it out there, work on it. Yeah, just keep creating. How are you guys handling?
This is great for comedy. You have a captive audience.
Don't go anywhere else. There's no going to the bar for another drink. You're stuck. You have to look at my joke.
Hey, look at my night. 5 more Tinder jokes. Is this what you wanted? Is that how you're gonna get through quarantine? Oh, those are really bad for the audiences.
I'm wondering how many more comedians we're gonna see once this is over. Like, are we gonna see like a shortage of comedians because everyone just sort of is depressed and burnt out and not really working on stuff? Or are we gonna? I feel like we're gonna see the opposite, where it's like everybody's been at home thinking, and they're like, "I got an idea. Life's short. I'm gonna be a comedian," and we're just gonna see this, like,
probably. I do think it's weird because when there's economic crisis, people could afford less, but at the same time, it brings that need out of you more.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Because everyone just needs an outlet. And comedy is a great outlet. Yeah. It's also a miserable one. And everyone
like
if I could do something else, I would, but unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like one thing I try to do is, because I used to feel really pressured that I should be producing a certain amount and whatnot. And the past year, I was like pretty exhausted after the album, and I was like, I have a right to take a break, so I gave myself a mental health break. And just because, like, I'm not very good with social politics at all, and there's so much of it, and I'm just that part of my brain doesn't work. So I'm just like, I want to write jokes and perform. I don't want to do the rest of it, but the rest of it is actually more important. I was just like, I'm tired and I'm burnt out. So I just started taking a break, and I felt like the happiest I've ever been with comedy, because I'm doing other things. Like, I'm writing on my own, and and it was just, I'm writing scripts and things I enjoy, and like,
cool.
And when this quarantine started, I'm like, I really hate that this is all happening, especially because people are dying. And also, don't take me the wrong way, but one great thing is, like, no one's asking me why I'm not going to mics anymore. You go to mics, and I'm like, that feels great. I'm like, why are you doing Zoom mics? We get to get out of this. Like, what are you doing? You know, it's just like, oh, I feel so good that I don't have like the option of being productive right now because
That
I don't want to be.
yeah,
I
that's
just
a
want
beautiful
my brain to rest, you know.
Mm.
I think comedians in this era, at least before the virus and the crisis happened, it's like we were asked to produce so much content because you
For
just
free.
gone through it before, like no other comedian has before. It's like, you know, you used to work on your set, your like perfect golden 10-minute set for like 2 years before you even had the chance to go do it somewhere, and then, you know, or do it on TV or whatever. And now it's like we're just rapid fire. We're constantly asked to like put stuff out on social media, constantly asked to like, you know, do shows constantly. And you know, I feel like at least at the level I'm at, it's like I'll have people who've seen me do shows before, and then they'll come see another one, and they'll be like, "Oh, it's the same material." Like,
It's like, you know how long it takes to write jokes?
like I am not naturally funny.
Nobody is though, right? Who's just gets? I mean, we're all naturally funny, so we do it, but nobody just like naturally speaks a well-crafted joke. Like,
right.
like
I give.
If it's a famous comedian, then they're like, "Oh, do that joke that I saw you do."
Oh, yeah,
They
right.
can do anything they want.
Yeah.
Do they like shout from the crowd like, "I want to see you do that"? No.
Joke. Like, we heard it already. It's just, it's funny. I feel like comedy, like stand-up comedy, is one of the, like, it's such a difficult art form, but it's one that's not really respected enough by the general population. Like, everyone says they like stand-up, but there isn't an appreciation for how hard it is to write quality jokes.
Mm-hmm.
That's like people always expect, like, they just think you're gonna rapid fire jokes. I'm like, hey, you wouldn't say that to a singer. You wouldn't be like, you sang the same song again? Like, why didn't you write like 6 new songs in the past 6 weeks? Like, you know, nobody says that to somebody who's
I want a new half hour of music.
People understand that it's hard to write songs. You know, nobody would tell a dancer, like, why don't you have 6 new choreographed pieces this week? You know, like, no one does that to any other artist. But for comedians, people just expect us to have new material constantly.
Right. Or on the street. It's the, you know.
Oh, tell me a joke. Whenever people tell me that, I'm like, no, you're going to come to a show and you're going to pay.
Yeah.
If you're going to hear a joke, jokes cost money. They're not free.
Yeah, fire out.
Right. This is well, okay, that brings up a good point. Where can people find your album?
Oh, you can.
I heard it on Spotify.
Yes, it's on Spotify. It's on every streaming platform. It's on Apple Music, Spotify,
iTunes, Pandora.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some CD Baby as well.
CD Baby, yeah.
It's on Amazon.
Yeah, on Amazon.
Is there one particular platform that you see more profits from that you would? I mean, I know having them all over is good, but is there one that you actually benefit the best from?
Well, if you could see, we do really well on Pandora, but we would like to do better on iTunes right now. So if you have iTunes, that would help out.
Yeah.
Any platform where you actually buy it.
Yeah.
Like Amazon, iTunes, CD Baby.
Yeah.
But we're getting a lot of streams, you know, on Pandora. We're getting like thousands of streams on Pandora, which is great.
Wow. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's doing really well on but yeah, it's just, you know, because as it's just it's that people just don't have money, and I get that, but also, like, you know, people don't value content that much anymore when it's made to be free. So, so yeah, any of those.
Those are the ones to go to. Okay, good. Well, and I'll put links to that in the comments too, so anyone interested can, you know, get on there and support and buy.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead. No,
we also have a download cards, and you know, you can just pay what you want. So if you want a download card and just pay what you want, you can.
Okay, we'll email you a link.
Yeah, just hit us up.
Oh, great.
Media, yeah.
Yes, yeah. It's important for people to pay for art and creation. I mean, that's
we were talking this stuff.
Yeah.
We're a lot funnier when we're not worried about a roof over our head, you know? Like,
and in LA, you can't even live in your car out here. They don't let you. So it's like
there's a park. There's like, it's crazy. I think there's like that the starving artist dream. It's like, no one. Like, no, that's a very hard way to actually create art, is when you're starving. Like, no, it's not the way to do it.
No, that's not. It is like it's not even a dream. It's just like a curse. Like who wants to starve? Nobody wants to starve. It's something that artists get pushed into.
Right. And struggle like makes it, and what we're going through now, like this is a huge struggle, and it's all going to make us better in some ways. Like we're going to learn a lot about ourselves as a country and as individuals and creatives. Like it's going to be really cool in that aspect, but like nobody wants to do it. Like nobody wants to struggle. I don't want to struggle. Like so yeah, I don't know. I'm a big fan of actually paying for people's art when I can. It's good to support. Now, so as a couple, like, how are you guys doing in quarantine? Like,
well, we're doing great because neither one of us are working, so that's great.
Yeah, we're gonna be great till we're homeless. So
yeah,
this kind of pretty much ended our income. Yeah, I mean, I know we're in the same boat as a lot of Americans, so I know it's not a unique situation, but it's a stressful one. But I think right now, because we are, job searching and binge watching, we're getting along fine.
yeah.
But yeah, I think for couples that if they're both working from home, which hopefully we both will be, God willing. I mean, I shouldn't say God willing, just because why wouldn't God want us to work? But or why wouldn't God want us to pay our bills, right? So I wouldn't say it that way. But if things work out, and hopefully we'll find jobs soon, it might be different because then you need space, and you're going to be making noise and getting on each other's nerves, and internet connection and all that. So who knows what it's going to be like that then? But for now, because we're both really stressed out together, it's brought us closer together. I guess. What do you think?
I guess so, yeah.
Oh man, it's so funny, right? When you're in a relationship, crisis either destroys your relationship or makes you a lot closer.
Yeah, well, they said like the divorce rate in China like skyrocketed after they were released from quarantine.
Wow.
Oh, it's like that's a sad statistic that I didn't even consider. But yeah, like some people are forced to be together, and I don't like you. Like, didn't realize that before.
When you're working way too hard and you're never home, and then when you're home, you're too tired to even talk to each other. It's easy not to see each other's flaws, right?
Right. But this is like we got nothing to do but look at each other now.
I think we're because we generally get along, so we always, so I think we've been really fortunate in our relationship, and just like our personalities work well together. But
and also in China, I don't know if they have Netflix, so that makes
yes,
difference. Yeah, good point.
If you really want to bond as a couple, just watch Tiger King together.
You're the person that on who's recommended that. Everyone's been talking about Tiger King.
The most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it'll give you a lot to talk about for a few weeks.
Oh, see, we lost our Netflix. It was like just we just lost it, and so we're like, we need to get this back now. Now's the time to get it back.
Just the Tiger King alone.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I'm talking about that one.
I breathe, sleep Tiger King now. My whole life.
I guess apparently Netflix also, they released Tiger King, and then they also released like some sort of documentary about like big cats and like why not to mess with them.
Really good.
Good on you, Netflix. Like let's also, but also don't own a tiger.
Because I feel like the documentary, the docuseries definitely doesn't show people who these people who want to own animals in a positive light. But there's always those people who are going to watch it and they're not going to get that. Instead, they're like, I want a tiger.
You know what? Let's get a tiger. Like, great idea. Let's go get it.
I mean, he just chomped off this person's arm, but like,
that guy, that's the exception. Like, my tiger's going to be really cool.
My tiger's going to love me.
My tiger would never do that.
It's like that old Chris Rock joke. That tiger went tiger.
All right. Well, beyond Tiger King, how are you guys' families doing? You both have immigrant parents. How everybody's staying safe?
Well,
we're more concerned about Lenny's mom.
I had to yell at my mom to stay home.
Right.
She kept wanting, because she was panic buying, like everybody's doing out here, So she was like, "Yeah, I need to get more toilet paper." And I was like, "No, you have 16 rolls of toilet paper." that's enough for now.
And especially too, because all the hate crimes against East Asians right now, and Lenny's mom's Korean, and so we were like really worried about her because it's like it's not just the pandemic she has to worry about; it's also like keeping her body safe right now. So
what great, like that's such an insane thing to have to worry about. Like it's on top of a crisis. Oh, and now I also have to worry about my neighbors being total dicks and like racism. It's just such a sad thing.
Such a weird, unfortunate thing to resort to, right? When we're going through this.
Yeah.
I've been trying to come up with some sort of like analogy because it's just so absurd to me that it's like, oh, here's a pandemic. Let me blame like Asians. Like what? How that connection to me is just like doesn't make any sense.
It just shows how much we need to improve like science education in America.
Yes.
Like even like all these people who are like, why do we have to learn math in school? It's not important. That really grates on me because math is important. But now that people don't understand what flattening the curve means, you see why we need to teach math in school.
Right.
Sorry, John Oliver, I like you, but you were wrong with that one. Like it just feels like even smart people say this all the time. I'm like, no, if we understood math, we would know how to manage a pandemic.
Right.
So yeah.
Understand what that means and how
My mom is doing well. Luckily, she's retired. So in the beginning, I think she had a hard time understanding that she had to stay home. But now she said she's doing it. Like I text with her and I talked to her on the phone and she said she's doing it. But she is a very like devout evangelical Christian. So she also believes that we're in the end times and like the tribulation started. So that's like, on her. I'm not getting involved. I was like, how many times do you guys need to be wrong about this? How many times did the revelation come? Like how many times, Y2K happened?
Yeah, right.
And my mom wasn't like this when I was growing up. My family's like, we grew up going to church, but not like in this way. But I don't know if it's like she's bored in retirement, needs a new hobby. So it's like end time prophecy. I don't know. Like, have you noticed that boomers are having a hard time staying home? And I'm like, you guys are at more risk. And what are you doing?
Yes. They're having the hardest time. Like
they criticize us. Oh, you guys just want to go out and eat your avocado toast. I'm like, and you just want to go to Home Depot to buy like potting soil out of the blue. Like, what do you?
Yeah, right. Like, is that an essential? Is that an essential? The potting soil, really? Well, my father-in-law, before it really hit that this was so serious, he was like, "Yeah, we all did Corona shots at the bar." I was like, "What are you doing? Like, what?" It was so funny. He like posted on my Facebook, like, "Yeah, we're doing Corona shots at the bar." I'm like, okay, but like I could see, a 21-year-old doing that who just doesn't have any idea. But it's like you are the people that this is coming.
This virus is coming, and also like alcohol brings down your immune system, so it's just not a good idea. That's like a weird thing to not like. I just decided not to drink because I have an autoimmune situation, so I know I'm also very high risk. So I was like, no alcohol for me because that brings down your immune system. Right. So it's kind of really weird to be present through this crisis. I don't like it. I was like, I don't want to be present right now. I drink so much water because I'm like, I know that drinking water and taking your vitamins is not going to stop it. But it gives you a sense of control, right? You feel like you're doing something. Right. So I've been drinking water like a maniac, and it does help your immune system. So I'm like drinking water as like a maniac. But the thing is, like, I keep peeing, and I'm using up all my toilet paper now. So it's like a complete like
sword. We'll just call Lenny's mom. Like, have her send some hoes over. Fair and square, please. Yeah, my husband's his grandmother was always like really big into hoarding toilet paper, just normally, just like forever, and that is one of those things that like rubbed off on him. So for whatever reason, we always have this like absurd stock of toilet paper to a point that I'm like, this is insane. Like, why do you buy? He like buys them in huge pallets from Home Depot, and I'm like, we don't even have the space for this. You know, like I'm making little clubhouses out of the rolls for my kids. It's like I don't know what else to do. We don't have.
People are gonna break down your door. They're gonna leave your house. You should not be live public stream. I wouldn't do that.
When this happened, he's like, "This is why finally." I'm like, "Yeah, 30 some years of you hoarding toilet paper like this. It's finally paid off." Good for you.
I feel like I'm having the time of her life right now. Like, no, but it was really like she was really great because that's why we have like the right kind of cleaning supplies right now. Because like
hoarder.
Yeah. He was prepared.
My mom is a hoarder and a germaphobe, so she always has like stocks of cleaning supplies.
Yeah.
I was telling Lenny the other day, we were like, when this is all over, maybe we should just like buy a bunker, you know? The survivalists were right. I mean, that's so much of my life making fun of them, and I'm like, I will never make fun of you guys again. You have food, you have toilet paper, you knew what was coming. You knew. We were just like living our lives. With that shit.
Total grasshopper and the ant story. It's like I've just been having fun. You guys have been, spraying everything down with bleach. Like, oh, now.
I was like, a bunker is cheaper than a house, right? No, maybe it's more expensive. Just find a little hole in the ground.
I find it interesting that like Lenny, your mom has been like stocking up. Like, I will survive. Like, this is, like she's really prepared. And Roger, your mom's like, oh, it's the end. Like, I'm not preparing any. Like, we have come to the point finally. Like, let it burn.
My parents always store like tons of excessive food and stuff in there. They have like the storage, like this big storage closet, and it's always like packed full of food. So it's like, and toilet paper and stuff. So I was like, I don't have to worry about them at all with that. But yeah, no, she's not that different.
Yeah, and my mom was like, yeah, this is the time God is telling us to pray. So that's what we all need to do right now. That's why God is doing this, so we all can just stop and pray. So
like maybe God's just telling us to stay home. Our moms.
It has been an interesting reset button in the world. Like I saw an article that's like, for the 5th day in a row, LA has no smog, and like no one knows what to like. It's like, whoa, that's insane.
Yeah, we took a walk yesterday and the air was like fresh. I felt like I was in the mountains.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Like that's one of the benefits of it. It's like, well, it's a nice reset button for the earth, like, or a nice break for the earth.
Yeah.
A little bit.
What I'm hoping is that because so many companies had to like, because one of the problems, right, with a lot of our companies is like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna get nerdy. Is that okay?
Go for it. It's like, I love your guys' humor is smart. So yeah, like here.
A lot of in the way we build homes in America, and also like with a lot of our businesses and companies, corporations, they haven't like really kept up with technology. A lot of what we're doing is very archaic. So a lot of companies should have the capacity to send everyone to home and work from home. Like you shouldn't be using an intranet in your office. You know what I mean? Like, but there people are doing that, and it should be very easy to go home. Like I've had a lot of jobs that it was easy, and then a lot of also even when they have the capacity to send you home, so many companies micromanage and they don't want to trust their employees. So they're working from, and for me, I don't like working from home. I'm an extrovert and I need to work outside because I worked from home and it was challenging, and I realized so I know not everyone can work from home, but there's a lot of people who could benefit. Parents, people with disabilities. If you don't want to own a car, if you want to save money on owning a car, you don't want to hurt the planet. So hopefully after this, there's like a realization, because now so many people are working fine from home. That means they could have always have done it.
Yeah,
there's a realization how many people can do that. So if we learn from that and like let a good portion of our workforce work from home if they want, it would be really good for our environment and for the planet.
For sure.
So much could have been avoided if we just stayed. Like, there's a lot of people who love technology so much that they would let people die for it, but they're not using it. And it's like, we could actually use technology to save people's lives. It's like technology is not bad, but the way we're using it is really problematic. So I'm just like, it's funny to me. But yeah, maybe after all this, hopefully that we will also reset the way we do work in America. And Stop killing everything.
I saw that there was like a great meme that came out right when everyone started, staying at home. That was like, I guess we will find out which meetings could have been an email. It's so true. So many times we're told like, no, that's impossible. You can't work from home. We need you here and stuff like that. And it's like, oh no, actually, most of our jobs right now are able to be at home. And those that aren't, you're usually considered essential, and you're there working it. So I also think it's going, another positive is that, speaking of the essential workers, is I think it's going to bring a huge level of appreciation for, workers that hadn't gotten that attention before. Not just the medical staff, but also like delivery drivers and janitorial staffs who are like keeping everything clean. And like, I think teachers for sure, for all of us. Oh my God. Yes. You guys deserve everything. But so I hope that comes out of it too. You have a joke in the album that I absolutely love, speaking of essential workers, but it's about the strippers. Which I think I love it so much because it's such a great point where that's another career that is often frowned upon and has a stigma to. And you point out that it's like, well, I could never be a stripper because I don't have that kind of work ethic. And it's like, true. Like, strippers are in shape. They're athletic. They're talented. They are businesses of themselves. They've got work ethic. And so I love that joke so much.
Thank you. It's one of my most, I would say one of my jokes, one of the jokes I could always use because it will always work. I've never had that joke not work anywhere. So.
Yeah, because it's just, like I said, it's one of those careers that people don't, I don't know, they just look down upon. And it's there's value to it. Obviously, if there wasn't value to that career,
there's a market. Like, who judge someone for making money? That's crazy.
Yeah.
No one's being hurt.
Right. And I think even I'm sure the strippers have found a way to work from home too, if they've got.
I hope so. I really hope so.
I mean, the amount we were saying before, like the amount of Zoom open mics and online comedy and stuff like that we've seen, there's been a huge boom in that. So I'm sure we're seeing that in some of the other arts as well.
I hope so. We all need to survive this.
Right. Exactly. I know you guys were saying that you were taking a break, but are you working on anything else right now? Are you planning on, well, you said you're working on a script. Uh-oh, did I little freeze? Oh no, I think I might have lost you guys. Let me hide you real quick. I think they got lost. Let's see if I put them back in, if they could show up. No, they didn't. It's just me. But that's okay. I'm loving the conversation with them so far. They are such wonderful and funny people. And truly, like, if you guys have the opportunity to purchase their album, Brownie Points, like I said, I'll put that link in the bio. There's really so many relevant points to it that when they made it a year ago, or almost a year ago, they made it in June, I'm sure wasn't really on their minds. But it really, I don't know, it's important and timely. And also it's just good to support other artists and other creatives. So please go and purchase their album, like their pages, because that always helps. Leave a positive review on any of the streaming services. And also just keep creating yourselves. I hope you listen to their album and find some sort of inspiration and find creativity in yourself. So like I said, I lost them, but that's okay. I'll find them again. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And thank you, Raja and Lenny, for joining us and sharing your positivity with us all. Thanks.